Hey guys, today's guide is brought to you by the White Stripes as we learn how to make some groovy buttons, as we learn how to go from buttons like this that are simple text buttons to buttons like this that are a lot more appealing to look at, a lot more fun interactively, and work just as other buttons work. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is open up Fireworks. When Fireworks opens up, I'm going to go to Create New Fireworks Document PNG, and this is the size you want. The width is 150 pixels. The height is 300 pixels. The resolution is 72 pixels. And let me show you how to get the exact background. You can either have your web page, like here's my basic web page. You can either have it open up in Firefox or in Dreamweaver, either one. Mine's open up in Firefox. And then what I'm going to do is, see, I want the same background color for this button file as what my website has, so that when it's all done, it fits right in with my website. So here's how to get the exact color. With your web page in the background, you go to Custom. You click on that little color swatch, then you come up here to the color wheel. Click on the color wheel, which opens up a new little window called Colors. Then I'm going to get the magnifying glass right here. The magnifying glass will let me sample any color anywhere on the computer. Doesn't matter where that color is at. In this case, I'm choosing the background color of my web page, which is in the background right here. So I'm just going to click on that. That loaded the color up right there, and then I just click OK and click OK. Now you've got a new web page. It's got the a new PNG file in Fireworks that has the same background color as your web page. I'm going to make this a bit bigger and hit Apple 0 so it zooms in a bit. Then I'm going to come up here and click on Edit, Insert, New Button. So that's the path I want you to follow. Click on Edit, Insert, and then I click New Button, and it opens up this window here. Up at the top, it looks really similar to making buttons in Flash. It's got up, over, down, over while down, and active area. And we are going to work with all of those areas except over while down. We're just going to leave that the way it starts out. We start here on up, and what I would like you to do is to get the rectangle tool, come over here and make a rectangle. Now mine you can't really see there. Let's make some changes here where you can actually see what I made. There. That's not what my button's going to end up looking like, but I wanted to make it where you could see it. I'm going to hit Apple Plus so it gets a little bigger. It's easier to look at. I'm going to get the pointer tool, the black selection tool up there at the top of the toolbar. And I'm going to get I'm going to pull my properties panel up here so you can see what happens as I make these changes. This, here, let's change the inside of that again. There. Let's see, I can make this a little bigger. Now you can really see the rectangle. I know it's selected because it has these 4 dots on the corners. If I click off and it's not selected, my property panel looks like this. But if I select it, it shows me the properties of the rectangle. The first thing I'm going to do is change the size. I want the width to be 100, and then I want the height to be 30. So 130. Then the next thing I want to do is to center this on the canvas. So it's still selected. I'm going to come over here. Here's my Align panel. If you don't have the Align panel, you can click on Window and come down and select Aligned, and it shows up. You want to have two canvas dark like that. That means it's selected. And then on the Align row here, which has 6 choices, I'm going to choose choice number 2 and choice number 5, which is vertical and horizontal center. So now I've got the beginnings of a button exactly where I want it and the exact size that I want it. And if I wanted to, I could line up these little guides. These are just guides here that are showing where my button belongs. And they can help us towards the end if we go ahead and move these like that. And I'm lining them up more on those little blue dots than I am on the outside edge of the stroke around it. Excuse me. The next thing I would like you to do is to get the text tool. You click on the little A right here and start out with Arial for the font. Size 17 is good, black is good, bold is good, and we want it centered. Now don't click and drag, just click and release, and then I want you to type my, let's see here, my friends. I believe that's the longest text we have for our different buttons. We want to choose the longest one. Then go back and get the pointer, the black pointer. And with the text selected, I'm going to come back over to the Align panel and choose the same 2 choices with 2 canvas selected. So the text is fairly centered. I don't know why. It seems a little high to me, so I'm just going to bump it down one little nudge. I use the downward arrow to get that to go down a little bit. I like that better. Now, at this point, I want to talk about the Styles panel. It has all these little swatches on it. If you don't see that panel open, click on Window and go down until you find Styles. And then this little panel will open up. And how it works is, I'll move it over so we can see changes happening as I'm selecting them. With my rectangle selected, I can click on one of these styles and it automatically makes my rectangle look like that. So what you want to do is find a style of rectangle. I believe this is the one I chose for my up. And remember, this is what the button's going to look like when it's just sitting there. That's what up means. The button's just sitting there, nobody's rolled over it, nobody's clicking on it. It's just sitting there. So how do you want your buttons to look while they're just sitting there? So it could take you a little while to make a choice here. There are several different choices. And once you've made a choice, you can come down here and on the property panel you can see that there's a lot of different things that they did here to get this button to look like the way it looks. Like if I wanted to change the color, I think I'd need to go to the hue saturation. And the way I got to that, see, each one of these little filters has a letter I next to it. If I click on the I, it takes me to the settings. If I change the hue like this, you can see how it starts to change the color of my button. And so what you want to try and do here is come up with similar colors to the color theme that you already have for your web page. And I'm going to hit cancel here because I don't want to change it just yet. If I go back to my website, let's go to a page without these new buttons. So I have this picture on all my pages. This is what my title looks like. So maybe something blue would work well for my buttons.